Sean Diddy Combs is saying he's sorry 2 days after a video exclusively obtained by CNN shows him beating Cassie Ventura inside a hotel in 2016.
That this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
Let's dive into one of the most jaw-dropping updates shaking up the entertainment world right now. You're not going to believe this, but it looks like Sean Diddy Combs is clawing his way out of what seemed like an inescapable legal mess. Yes, the same Diddy who's been under the microscope for a whirlwind of allegations and accusations over the past couple of years. And just when it seemed like the walls were closing in, the tide is turning. Is this the moment that changes everything for him? Or is it just the calm before another storm? Buckle up, because this is one wild ride.
Problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
So here's the tea. Diddy just scored a major victory in court, and it's got everyone talking. A New York judge has dismissed several key claims in the high-profile lawsuit brought against him by producer Lil Rod Jones. If you've been following this saga, you'll know that Lil Rod dropped some seriously scandalous allegations against the music mogul, accusing him of misconduct and impropriety during their work together on Daddy's project, the Love album, Off the Grid. Now, these weren't just your run-of-the-mill industry grievances. Oh, no, these were explosive claims that painted a dark and disturbing picture of what allegedly went on behind closed doors.
This, along with Cassie's lawsuit that you talked about earlier that was settled, reads a lot like what we saw in the R. Kelly case in the EDNY.
But not so fast. In a surprising twist, the judge overseeing the case, J. Paul Lewetkin, wasn't buying all of Lil Rod's accusations. In a 31-page ruling, the judge threw out multiple charges, including ones related to racketeering and breach of contract. Why? Well, according to the court, the evidence just didn't add up. The judge ruled that Lil Rod failed to prove he was harmed by any violation of the so-called RICO Act. And let's not forget the whole payment dispute over Lil Rod's work on the album. Yeah, that got tossed out too. Apparently, the court decided that any alleged failure to pay him wasn't connected to any larger wrongdoing. Ouch.
It's very scary for myself, and, it has me worried about my kids and, just sleeping with anxiety.
And it doesn't stop there. Claims of emotional distress. Also dismissed, the judge described those accusations as being too general and conclusory. In other words, not specific enough to hold water in court. You've got to wonder how Lil Rod and his team are feeling after this. His attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, didn't exactly come out unscathed either. The judge flat out criticized him for his filings, calling them riddled with inaccurate statements of law and inappropriate ad hominem attacks on opposing counsel. Yikes. Blackburn, however, is putting on a brave face, telling Rolling Stone that a win is a win and that the real battle is about to begin. He claims it's time for discovery, hinting that there might be more to come. But seriously, how much more? And will it be enough to turn things around? Now, don't get it twisted. This doesn't mean Diddy's in the clear just yet. While a big chunk of the case has been stripped away, some of the more salacious allegations are still standing. The court has allowed claims involving inappropriate conduct and questionable behavior to move forward, particularly under the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. And get this, these claims don't just involve Diddy. His chief of staff, Christina Koram, is in the hot seat too. According to the lawsuit, there are specific incidents where Jones alleges he was coerced into uncomfortable situations, including being transported across state and international borders for questionable purposes. It's heavy stuff, and the fact that these claims have been allowed to proceed suggests that this legal battle is far from over.
Okay, moving on. Diddy being accused of assault by male employee.
Oh my God, no.
Yes, oh my God, yes.
But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah, you just couldn't stay out of this one. In a move that's as controversial as it is headline-grabbing, Ye recently came out in support of Diddy. And not just any support. We're talking about a full-blown rant on social media where he basically accused Lil Rod and others of trying to extort Diddy. How everybody you know got a story, but they so mad at Puff, Ye reportedly wrote in one of his now-deleted posts. He even went as far as to suggest that some of the allegations were exaggerated or outright fabricated for financial gain. Love him or hate him, West's voice carries weight, and his public backing of Diddy has definitely added a new layer to the narrative. But will it help or hurt Diddy's case in the long run? That's the million-dollar question. And let's not forget the ripple effect this has had on public perception. Some fans are rallying behind Diddy, arguing that the dismissals prove there's a lack of evidence against him. Others, however, see this as just another example of a powerful figure dodging accountability. Social media is on fire with debates over whether Diddy's legal team is just better at playing the game or if the accusations really are as shaky as the judge seems to think. Either way, this case is shaping up to be one of the most polarizing celebrity controversies in recent memory.
Listen to everybody, but you believe all proof.
Believe the facts.
This video is proof.
Arrow, hands down proof.
You know?
But what does this mean for Diddy's future? Could this be the beginning of a comeback? Or is it just a temporary reprieve in a much larger battle? Remember, this isn't the only case on Diddy's plate. There are still multiple lawsuits and allegations swirling around, including some that are even more shocking than Lil Rod's. And let's not forget the federal criminal charges Diddy's facing. Those are a whole different beast, and some legal experts are saying they could carry serious consequences if the prosecution's case holds up. So while this recent court ruling might feel like a win for Diddy, the road ahead is anything but smooth.
I've had clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
What's also fascinating is how this case fits into the broader pattern of controversies surrounding Diddy. Over the past year, his name has been dragged through the mud in ways that even his closest fans couldn't have seen coming. From former collaborators to ex-partners, it seems like everyone has a story to tell. And yet, Diddy continues to deny all allegations, maintaining his innocence and insisting that the truth will come out. Is this confidence or just another layer of his defense strategy? Only time will tell.
Stacey Schneider. And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
What's undeniable, though, is that the stakes couldn't be higher. For Diddy, this isn't just about clearing his name. It's about protecting his legacy. We're talking about a man who built an empire, who's been a cultural icon for decades. But now, that empire is hanging by a thread, and every new development in these cases has the potential to either save him or bring it all crashing down. And let's be real, the court of public opinion is just as important as the actual courtroom in cases like these. Will the dismissal sway public sentiment in his favor? Or will the remaining allegations keep the shadow of doubt firmly in place? And what about the judge's warning to Tyrone Blackburn? Could this be a sign that the legal teams involved need to tread more carefully moving forward? It's a rare and bold move for a judge to call out an attorney's conduct so publicly, and it adds yet another layer of drama to an already chaotic saga. If Blackburn doesn't clean up his act, could it jeopardize Lil Rod's case altogether? Or will he double down and come back swinging in the next phase of the trial?
So I think that those situations lend to maybe some issues with tampering. And I do feel like there are victims who are scared to come forward, including my client. She was very nervous about if he was going to get bail this week. And once I told her, and then come after people, including her and some of the other individuals. And she was very relieved when he did not receive.
One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. As much as this recent ruling feels like a victory for Diddy, it's more of a small battle won in what's shaping up to be an all-out war. With the stakes so high and the spotlight so intense, every move from here on out will be scrutinized like never before. And with Ye throwing his support into the mix, you can bet the drama is only going to escalate. What happens next? So let's get into the next chapter of this roller coaster saga, and trust us, it's just as wild as what we've already covered. If you thought Diddy's recent legal win against Lil Rod was the end of the drama, think again. Because now, all eyes are shifting to another battle, and this one's even messier. Yep, we're talking about the situation with Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former partner, whose allegations against him have been making waves for months. And just like the Lil Rod case, this one is packed with shocking claims, unexpected twists, and a whole lot of questions.
Does he have a shot? I think his attorneys raised some good arguments.
I think they raised good arguments as well. Maybe this will be third time's the charm, because the difference between this bail motion and the prior two is that this one really does get to the heart of what the court was concerned about, which was witness intimidation.
So let's rewind for a second and set the stage. Cassie, who was in an on-again, off-again relationship with Diddy for nearly a decade, has accused him of some seriously disturbing behavior during their time together. When these allegations first came to light late last year, they sent shockwaves through both the music industry and the public. But here's where things start to get interesting. Almost as quickly as the accusations surfaced, the case seemed to hit a wall. A big reason. Evidence that was supposed to bolster Cassie's claims has reportedly been removed from consideration. And while the details are murky, this development has everyone asking, what's really going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, that's trying a criminal case in the modern times. A lot of evidence is on electronic devices, cell phone, tablets, computers, things of that nature. And the devices, especially if you have like external hard drives, 90-something terabytes of data on a single device makes me think some type of hard drive. That takes weeks to go through just for one device on its own.
Now, before you jump to conclusions, let's break this down. Cassie's claims against Diddy were heavy, stories of mistreatment, manipulation, and more. But in a dramatic twist, some of the most damaging pieces of evidence have been called into question. Diddy's legal team, which has been firing on all cylinders, has argued that certain videos and other materials tied to the case aren't reliable. One of the most talked about pieces of evidence is a video that appears to show Diddy and Cassie in a heated altercation at a Los Angeles hotel back in 2016. You've probably seen the headlines about this one. It's a clip that's been making the rounds online, and it's not a good look for Diddy. But here's the kicker. Diddy's lawyers are claiming that the footage has been altered. According to his defense team, the video was edited in ways that make it look more incriminating than it actually is. They've even gone as far as accusing CNN, the outlet that originally aired the footage, of tampering with it. In a bold move, Diddy's team subpoenaed the network for the original copy of the video, only to claim that it had been destroyed. They're alleging that what's left is doctored, with timestamps covered and the speed of the video manipulated to make it seem more dramatic. It's a wild accusation, and while CNN has denied any wrongdoing, the back and forth has only added to the chaos surrounding this case.
Most importantly and most notably, when he walked inside the courtroom, the first thing that he looked at was his family. As soon as he saw his family, he just lit up. Another thing to note, too, is he wasn't shackled, but he was wearing a khaki prison-like jumpsuit when he appeared inside court, and his family appeared on their end very just happy to see him.
And let's not forget Cassie's response to all of this. Through her attorney, she's made it clear that she stands by the video, insisting that it accurately reflects what happened during that confrontation. Her legal team has called Diddy's claims about the footage disingenuous and expressed confidence that the video will be allowed as evidence in court. But here's the thing, even if the video does make it to trial, will it be enough to sway public opinion? Or will the doubts raised by Diddy's defense team muddy the waters just enough to create reasonable doubt?
I'm not going to talk about anything that I haven't said in court or in the papers. These are all great questions, but I'm just not going to get into it. So,
can you speak about your concerns about the leak and the video? You have spoken about that before.
I did it in the court papers, and I'm just going to stick to the court papers. As you guys all know, let me just finish. As you all know, I made a request today for what we were calling a gag order, and I'm not going to walk out of court and do anything other than...
Now, while the video drama is getting a lot of attention, it's far from the only thing complicating Cassie's case. There's also been talk of her initial lawsuit being settled almost as soon as it was filed. That's right, just one day after Cassie's legal team made their move, the case was reportedly resolved for an undisclosed amount. And while this might seem like a win for her on the surface, it sparked plenty of speculation about what really went down. Did Cassie agree to settle to avoid a prolonged legal battle? Or was there pressure to keep this out of the courtroom? The timing of the settlement has raised more questions than answers, and for some, it's left a lingering sense of unease.
Responsibility. Well, you got to do your due diligence, and his team should have did the due diligence. And a lot of times, people do slip through the cracks. There's things that you don't see and don't find out until later on. But I mean, when people are making claims like the way people are making claims, you have to do your due diligence to make sure that if you're having that person on your platform, which is a huge platform, that you're putting out the proper and correct news.
Well, the problem is...
Adding to the intrigue is the role of public perception. In all of this, Cassie has been vocal about wanting to share her side of the story, but Diddy's camp has been just as vocal in denying her claims. In fact, Diddy himself has taken to social media multiple times to address the allegations, calling them false and vowing to clear his name. And let's not forget his previous apology video, where he acknowledged his shortcomings as a partner but stopped short of admitting to any of the more serious accusations. It's a delicate dance, one that's as much about controlling the narrative as it is about fighting the legal battles. But here's where things get even murkier. Behind the scenes, whispers are circulating about alleged attempts to silence potential witnesses who could corroborate Cassie's claims. Rumors suggest that individuals close to the situation have been approached with lucrative offers in exchange for their silence, though none of this has been officially confirmed. If true, this raises serious questions about what lengths Diddy's team might be willing to go to protect his reputation and avoid further legal fallout. While his lawyers have denied any claims of witness interference, the mere speculation has added another layer of drama to an already complicated case. Could this signal desperation on Diddy's part, or is it just more fuel for the rumor mill?
Not only should he have apologized to Cassie in that video, he should have apologized to all of the general public that he lied to.
At the same time, Cassie's willingness to stand firm despite these alleged obstacles has only strengthened her support among fans and advocates. She's been praised for her bravery in stepping into the spotlight and calling out someone as powerful as Diddy. Some have even labeled her as a symbol of resilience, inspiring others to speak up about their own experiences. But critics have questioned whether her motives are entirely pure, pointing to the quick settlement of her lawsuit and the ongoing media frenzy surrounding her story. Is she seeking justice, closure, or something else entirely? Whatever the case, her decision to go public has undeniably shifted the narrative, forcing uncomfortable but necessary conversations about accountability in the entertainment world.
And in this lawsuit, he claims that essentially P. Diddy was the Epstein of the rap industry.
But here's where things get even more complicated. While the focus has been on Cassie and Lil Rod, there's a growing list of others who have come forward with their own stories about Diddy. From former collaborators to industry insiders, it seems like everyone has something to say. And while not all of these claims have been formally addressed in court, they've created a kind of snowball effect that's hard to ignore. For every piece of evidence that gets dismissed or discredited, another allegation seems to pop up, keeping Diddy firmly in the spotlight, for better or worse.
Work for hire is when you're paid to create something for somebody else. You don't own the rights to what you create. In this case, Combs would own the rights to the songs that were produced by Jones.
And let's not forget the cultural impact of all this. Diddy has been a towering figure in the entertainment world for decades, and his influence extends far beyond music. He's a business mogul, a philanthropist, and a symbol of success for many. But with these allegations hanging over him, his legacy is being questioned like never before. Fans are divided, with some standing by him and others distancing themselves from his brand. Even his peers in the industry seem to be taking sides, with some showing support and others staying conspicuously silent. It's a reminder that in today's world, reputation can be as fragile as it is powerful. So, where does this leave us? On one hand, Diddy's recent legal victory suggests that he's not going down without a fight. His legal team has been relentless, and their strategy of challenging evidence and questioning the credibility of accusers seems to be paying off, for now. But on the other hand, the sheer volume of allegations against him makes it hard to believe that this storm will pass anytime soon. With every step forward, there seems to be another hurdle waiting just around the corner.
Claims that he was also told Combs' head of security, Fahim Muhammad, had the power to make people disappear.
And then there's the question of what this means for Cassie. She's been through so much already, and the public scrutiny surrounding her case can't be easy to handle. But despite the setbacks, she's shown remarkable strength and resilience. Whether or not her case against Diddy moves forward, her decision to speak out has already made waves, sparking important conversations about power, accountability, and justice in the entertainment industry. And let's be real, this is about more than just one case. It's part of a larger reckoning that's been unfolding across Hollywood and beyond, where long-held secrets are finally coming to light.
It's just crazy. Just read.
As we wait to see how this all plays out, one thing's for sure. The stakes couldn't be higher. For Diddy, this is about protecting everything he's built over the years. For Cassie, it's about finding closure and reclaiming her narrative. And for the rest of us, it's a chance to reflect on the power dynamics that shape the industry and the role we all play in holding those in the spotlight accountable. What happens next? Well, that's anyone's guess. But one thing's certain, this story is far from over, and the twists and turns are only just beginning. Stay tuned, because this is one drama you won't want to miss. So, what do you think? Is Diddy's recent legal victory a sign of things to come, or just a temporary reprieve in a much larger battle? And how do you think the situation with Cassie will unfold? Will her allegations hold up in court? Or will Diddy's legal team succeed in discrediting the evidence? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know what you think the future holds for Diddy as he continues to navigate these complex legal waters. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity gossip and updates.